What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Attack on Titan Season 3, and I gotta say, whoa, yo. Guys, this might actually be my favorite Attack on Titan episode of all time, really. It was that damn good. I thought the Levi chase scene in episode 2 was lit as hell. And by the way, speaking of Levi in episode 2, you guys would know that that Attack on Titan Season 3 finally made its debut on Toonami. The dub is finally getting released. Dub, phenomenal. Me personally, I honestly prefer the dub over the sub. I will say that I probably like Levi's Japanese voice a little more than his English voice. And also just because it sounded a little bit better to me. But overall, I'd say I like the dub a little bit more. And you guys, if you guys follow me on my social medias on Instagram and Twitter, which you totally should if you're not, links in the description box below. You guys know that was I posted videos of like some of the scenes that were highlighted in episode 1 when I saw it sub, and I posted them with the dub. You know, when Armin is getting molested. Great voice acting from that, and of course when Hanji threatened those military police guys, told them that he was sort of like, yo, Hanji, the English voice for Hanji, whoo, she did a great job there. You could really tell that she beat his fucking bitch. Like, love the dub for Attack on Titan. Those people don't really like it. They don't like the Titan screams or whatever. Me personally, I love the dub to Attack on Titan. But that's just my opinion. So, but one last thing I gotta say. I'll talk about this a little later on the end of the video, but that preview for next week, though! That preview, though! Yo! Ooh, next week's gonna be interesting. Oh man, let's get to this episode. Woo! Because man, this episode was lit. Okay, so it starts off. We got all these carriages running past after we get like quick little flash what happened last week with Erwin and Levi. They're walking. So yeah, we see all these carriages. People are like, hey, what's up with all these carriages? And they tell us like, yo, you don't know? They're like, and they probably just tell them like, yeah, they're going to be, of course, they're setting up the gallows to, of course, hang Erwin from, the crimes he committed that he didn't actually commit, yada 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 yada. You guys already know that. So we get inside, the castle. We're in there. Erwin's, of course, on his hands, is on his knees, and I love this. Like, the reason I love this was just from this, like, this portion throughout the first half of the episode. Really, it was the entire episode mostly. It was mostly the entire episode was focused on this, with like a little bit around the end where it was focused on different things. But mostly it was focused on here with Erwin. The voice acting, oh my god, and the music, oh my god, the cinematography, everything in this episode right here was just amazing. Wit Studios, y'all are doing a phenomenal job with this. I almost gotta feel bad for the mongers. They're like, motherfucking anime onlys. Look at what they gave. I really had to sit through that shit. So he's in there. He's pretty telling them that he's pretty much telling that Wall Rose, that the scouts are the spear that help fight humanity, because as we know, the scouts are always the guys on the front lines, so taking care of the Titans, while the military police guards are kind of just chill inside the walls. They got the good life. Well, scouts like Levi, Erwin, Mikasa, Armin, they're all on the front lines risking their lives to defeat these Titans. And so when threats come, they have a spear. They are not armed with a shield. They are armed with a spear, as Erwin says. And he talks about how Wall Rose is like about like what if the walls were breached either by Titans and they would all flee to Wall Cedar. The same thing happened with an earlier evacuation. I'm assuming he's talking about the stuff in season 1. I'm assuming, or maybe it was a different one or maybe it's something in season 2 that I'm not remembering. That there was like very little rations. I was like, I was drawing a blade. There was very little food for a lot of people. They had some, but it only really lasts for a couple days hence. So people end up having to fight for survival. And so because of this, and since that there are of course Wall Rose and Walsina are of course two of the walls, and a lot of people are there. There could be a good chance that because of the food shortages that Wall Rose is always suffering from, that they could end up breaching inside Walsina and causing a civil war. So Erwin says we need to reclaim Wall Road. We need to reclaim Wall Maria. We need to reclaim it. And like one of the or he says like, or do you guys have a plan to or do you have some secret plan to hide or do? I love how they have the shots where like as everyone says it, they like show you all of the higher ups that are there with the king. I like how Witches did that. And so one of the guys like, Erwin, I don't think you understand. You're the one that's about to die. You got right to like bosses around, tells you know we should do this, we should do this, we should do that. You are not in the right. You are not in the position to where you can really do this, Erwin. Have you forgotten where you're sitting and where I'm sitting? And so, so after that, he tells them, like, you know, that, look, dude, you're not here to discuss about the future of what our lies on the wall. You're not even here for the murder. You're here because of the shit you have pulled previously with not giving up Aaron. And he says, like, you know, it was like, what, Charter 6? It was like, you know, Clause 6 of the Charter of Humanity. One shall not take the gain over the longevity of humanity. I think that's pretty much, or at least that's close enough. That's pretty much the gist of it. Is that so? He's pretty much like, you know, you guys shouldn't have given you guys. We have asked you guys many times to hand over Aaron because, you know, he's a Titan. He's a Titan shifter. But like, you know, but you've constantly said no. This is obviously treason. And Aaron says, like, look, dude, Aaron is like very important to, like, you know, to reclaim Walmart. And he's like, that is enough for the scouts to decide, dude. And so he ends up calling up Commander Pixie, and asking, like, dude, are you affiliated with these guys? He's like, I am actually quite disturbed by the fact that you think I would actually affiliate myself with these idiots. He didn't often say that, but, you know, you get my point. And so he talks about how, like, the scouts are like this, are like a spark that will engulf us all. That if the scouts are the spark, and since it's so crowded here, if the spark is indeed the scouts, they should indeed be smothered and, you know, get rid of. We need to get rid of them. Of course, it's all part of Erwin's plan. So he says, like, you know, the dudes, and then he also talks about how, you know, if there's barely any people here, the Titans might get hungry. When the dude's like, oh, and covers his mouth, like, oh, like as if he wasn't supposed to laugh or some shit. They end up saying, you know, like, okay, let us discuss this. And so they end up deciding, you know, Erwin, you know, no, Erwin, goodbye, man, because you're being put to death. See ya. So like, you know, Aaron. So the dude. I forget the guy. The guy was sitting next to Aaron. That was the guy that Aaron asked last week. Like, you know, oh, how's your wife and kids doing, man? And so he gets up and he's like, Erwin, is this what you really wanted, man? Is this what you wanted? And you could see the smile on Erwin's face. Right after that, someone bangs barges through the doors, and oh my god, the art, you could tell it's Attack on Titan because it's like ridiculously over animated with like wind coming through, like a fucking tornado just hit the place. And so it's just like the Titans have breached Wall Rose. The Titans have breached Wall Rose. It's like the armor of the colossal Titan have, like, you know, invaded, and we need to get. So like everyone tells, like, you know, keep the gates open. You know, we need to get all the refugees out there as soon as possible. And the higher ups like, no, don't do that. No. Do not leave them there. No. They want to keep, because, like, as we know, these higher up rich folk always want to keep everything to themselves. They don't want to help. They really don't care about the people. They rather, like, no. We ain't giving away our shit to these idiots, to these peasants. Let the peasants, you know, fight for themselves. Let the Titans have their way. No. And so, you know, they're arguing, no, we should go, we shouldn't go. Some of the guys end up going, and, like, you know, Commander nods to the girl, and she takes her leave. And then the guy that was with the guy with I keep forgetting his name. He, you know, is debating with something like, you know, should he or should he not? And the higher ups are like, dude, go! You need to leave now. Go, like, close the gates. If you don't, this is treason. He's like, I won't. And some other guys show up, and even this older gentleman that I'm guessing is one of the higher ups in the military branches of wherever this place of, you know, Attack on Titan. I'm guessing he's up one of the higher up guys above the scouts. Like, probably judging from the logo on his chest, he's probably up there with the higher ups that we saw in the room. Which, actually, one other thing I forgot to mention, actually, when she came in, they told, like, you know, that the wall has been breached, and their excuse why he says, like, no, don't open the doors, like, close them, like, keep all the refugees out, because, as Erwin said, that so war might break out. He's like, but the guy's like, that's only a possibility, but, like, well, the possibilities, enough of the possibilities, oh, fuck them. So it was that. They were also discussing while this was all going down that they were like, oh, this ain't no biggie, because they got Aaron. Of course, they talk about, like, you know, that they just need that whoever they got to, they just need the guy. They just need him to get Ian because, of course, as we saw in Season 2, he has the power to control Titans. And whoever is the guy that's going, or guy or woman, I don't know, that will end up eating Aaron to, of course, inherit his abilities. So, back to where it was. he comes in there and talks about, and tells like, yo, don't worry guys, don't worry, that was all a false alarm. That was all a false alarm. No need to worry here. And they're like, oh, money? And they're all confused about how this was a false alarm. And they go, and Commander Pig says it was all his idea, and that they says that yes, that his forces are not affiliated with the Scouts. They ain't affiliated with these guys either, the higher ups, the government. And he said he was going to let. He said he was, and he was like, he does share some same feelings like Erwin does, but he's more of the guy that like, let's just leave it to the government, let's trust it to the government. So this whole like, fake Titan, Titans invade the wall was all really a test to see if that they would, of course, actually cooperate and, of course, save the people. And as we found out, they don't give a flying fuck about the people. I'm sure they would all love to see them just just drop some gasoline over wall Mario, wall Rose, and just let it burn. As Seth Rollins said, burn it down. Speaking of which, we got SummerSlam tonight, so I'm not gonna watch till tomorrow on Monday, and I guess we got Call starting there. But yeah, SummerSlam. I'm hyped to see SummerSlam. We got some pretty good matches on the card. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Why am I talking about SummerSlam? So as he says that that this was all that, of course, that as you guys were actually like pretty past it, like you guys actually cared and did care about the people and actually did your best to save as many as you could. He would leave Erwin to the gallows. He would be like, I am good, but of course, since you failed miserably, you're fucked. And so he says that, that this was all. Then he goes on about saying that this was all indeed a coup d'état, and that they're going to and that the guy higher up is with them 100% on Erwin's. He's with them on this one. The woman comes back and she reports that that they are indeed that they have captured the military police. They show some shots of that, and they even say the people are not going to listen to you. They won't listen to what the crowd says. They won't listen to you. And he says also, and Erwin says, and he put when he says and it's like a clause 6 of the Charter of Humanity, blah 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 blah. One does not put his own personal gain over the law of humanity. He throws it right back at him, saying what you did. Yeah, that breaks that breaks the clause as well as also putting in a false king and pretty much controlling everything, so is punishable by death. So bye. And so and then we find out that actually the king that they got there, he was sleeping the entire time. He was sleeping with his eyes open. At least it seems like, because he kicks. He's like, get up, you pig oaf! And it's like, oh, is it time for dinner? And so either A, the man just it was either in his own world, wasn't paying attention, or B, the man was straight up sleeping with his eyes open. He's like I love how he got almost some kind of almost pseudo badass, almost when he was just sitting there on the chair yeah, almost sitting like a ball. But then when he gets here, he's like, oh, he's like your typical old guy. He's like, oh, is it time for dinner? And so they take care of him. We then get back to Aaron and crew where we left off last week. Those guys with those soldiers coming after them. Levi's peeking from a tree, okay, they're coming. Hanji actually shows up. She hands him this newspaper, and she tells him that actually that the coup d'état was a success. Erwin, if he's not dead, they're good. And he talks about actually how that they're pretty much clean. All their actions were self-defense. Talks about the royalty was false, all that shit. And it's because actually we actually see this clip of when Flegel, I believe it's that, Rie's son that we saw last week, he came back and actually was talking to one of the other journalists there, the guy that was like, sorry sir, he doesn't know how it works, while the new guy is behind him, the one that actually wanted to ask the real questions. Who actually wanted to ask the real questions? He was right behind Flegel. He's like, tell him dude, come on, they don't care a flying fuck about you. Let's write the truth before we're all 6 feet under. Capiche? So they end up agreeing. They end up posting about all that, like I said. Everyone starts celebrating. I love when they have actually when they read the newspaper. Though, you look at how Sasha's face is. She's Sasha's she got her head turned, she can barely see. It's hilarious. And so everyone sits there that they're all free, they're clean, they're good. Everyone starts celebrating. They're like, yeah, we're good. I love how everyone's celebrating. Levi just stands up like nothing, like this is nothing. He's like, yeah, we're free, okay? Everyone's celebrating. Levi's just sitting there, chilling, like Levi. I love Levi. And so, she tells Han that, your gamble paid off. And she also had said, now she's like, no, we still need to figure out where Eren and, Historia are. And actually, Hanji actually has like a book, which that will actually lead their way to actually find where Hanji and where Eren and Historia are. So we then get back to Erwin. He pretty much they have a top up speech about how pretty much he's like pretending that the royalty there was fake. They're gonna put in a new king, and we see here with some interviews. That we have a bunch of journalists like Cloud over the guy that we've seen a couple times. I honestly forget his name. He's like answering the questions from the journalists. The rest like yes, we're gonna the king that was there was not the real king. We're gonna put a real king from the true royal family, aka Historia. They don't say that's Historia, but they say someone from the true royal bloodline, which of course we know is Historia. So then we get back and we actually see him with Premier Xander, Zachary. It was Xander or Zachary. It was one of those two. The old guy that we saw earlier with the guy with the chest with that was like in there with the guns, with the guys with the guns. Yeah, it's him. And they're like, they're talking about like, and everyone's talking about, should I have really done what I done? Should I have not? Should I have, really focused more? Should I have like, not? Should I have put my my personal like, goals and which of course, proving that his father was indeed right about messing with the memories and all that shit. Right, keeping Eren to himself, or should he have just, let him give him to the government? And Xander just next to him says, "You want to know why I was there?" And the dude says like, "Because I hated them." And he like does like he hated them. They were assholes. And he says that he would have done this anyway, whether or not it's good for humanity or not. Doesn't care. He doesn't care. He just want to do this as a final fuck you to the government because he never liked them before he kicked the bucket. He's like, oh, maybe I did like him. Blah 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 blah. And then he asks, Erwin, what was the reason you did this whole coup d'etat thing? Why'd you do this? And he tells him, of course, he says that he had a dream ever since he was a kid, which that dream was, proving his father was right about, and proving his theories were correct, since, he was murdered for those theories. So then we get back to Hanji and crew. They're on their way to go catch to where they think, where Eren and Krista are, or Historia, I should say. And she talks about how the Reyes family has actually had that there was actually a bunch that Historia there was actually that Rod, I believe that's the king's, the real guy's name, Historia's father's name. He was like about that he actually had a bunch of kids, but one day these bandits attacked this church, and all the guys and all of the family members were there. So he was the only one that survived, and that was actually a few days before stuff with Historia happened when her mother was killed right in front of her. And so we see, and actually one of them actually is a girl with blue hair. And the reason I bring this up because I'm pretty sure she's actually in the OP with Historia when she's like blowing like those like dandelions or whatever. I forget like she's blowing the OP. But we also see her, and like we see this one scene of like a blue haired girl, brushing her hair. Maybe it's black and it just looks like blue from the lighting. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So and Armin Sabel, what like it talks about like as the Titans inherit the Titan shifter becomes a Titan shifter. They inherit if they eat a Titan shifter. So like of course people want and to hear like who's going to eat Eren, what is he going to inherit it, and he also asks like how did Eren become a Titan shifter? What did he do when he which I bet you money it has something to do with the basement. I'm very curious what's in there. And it looks like from the preview, we're either A, going to get that answer, or B, we're going to get something that maybe was in there, or something that did happen there, judging from what we got from the preview this week. So then we get to see this blue haired girl brushing her hair as we see Eren tied up in that Titan crystal prison that we room, as we saw like one of the posters. You saw that in one poster with like Levi and Eren was up there, and we see, and so he's up there. He's like trying to break out, and he can't. And then we see Historia. He says he says Historia, and that's where the episode ends. And like I said, the preview, ooh, I'm so hyped to see next week. I'm so hyped to see next week because So, man, the reveals. Oh, I can imagine something big is gonna get revealed then. Oh, I'm like legit hype. Like, I don't really get that hype for next episodes just based off of previous. Like, sometimes I do, but not like this. I do not usually get this hype because, like, oh, because we've been waiting for this day a long time, wondering, you know, what's in the basement. What was Eren's father doing? What does that kid lead? Why is there a Titan Shifter? How did he become a Titan Shifter? We'll probably get some of those questions answered next week. Ooh, my hype. I am super hyped to see next week. So hope y'all enjoyed so overall I give this episode a 10 out of 10. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow us on Twitter, link down below. As always, come back for more. See you guys next time.